Okay, so welcome back to some more MX versus ATV All Out, and today what I want to do is like a top 3 least favorite and top 3 favorite supercross tracks in MX versus ATV All Out. Are we gonna land this? Oh man, no. I thought that'd be a cool idea, but we didn't land it. So yeah, if we have enough time, I'll throw all of them on here, but we're gonna start with our least favorite because, well, that's just because that's how I want to start it. So if we have enough time, we'll throw both the best ones and the worst ones, in my opinion. And I want to do just supercross tracks because I don't really care for the nationals. I like Shadow Valley and I like Amber Ridge. Like, I actually legitimately like those national tracks, but the rest of them, they're just kind of boring and generic. They're just not, it's not that they're done bad. I think they look good, but they just don't, it's not what I like to see and not what I like to play on when I play motocross games. So that's what we're going to do. And like I said, if we have enough time, we'll throw all of them in here. And then at the very end, I'll probably stick in a little bit of UTV gameplay if you were really wanting to see that. I know one person in particular wanted to see it, so probably a little UTV gameplay. But before we get started, people were telling me, you got to try and hit this huge line, so see if we can hit this one. I think you guys are talking about jumping off of this. No way. There's just no way. I've seen people land that, but there's just no way. I'm not getting it. Maybe you need the 500. Maybe I need to tune my bike differently. I don't even think I'm maxed out. I think like the engine and the clutch are backed off a little bit, so might have to adjust on that. But let's go find the first of our top 3 least favorite supercross tracks. Okay, so coming in third place is San Diego. San Diego isn't like a terrible track, but if I had to go through all of them when I was looking at them, it was like, okay, San Diego's probably my third least favorite track. And I mean, it's going to come down to being because I don't like the layouts. I don't like the layouts of these top 3 least favorite tracks. They're just not what I love to see in video games. It's not even that I don't love to see this in video games. It just doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't, I can't get a good flow, and just because I don't like this track doesn't mean that it won't be somebody else's favorite track. It has some big lines that are kind of fun to hit, but they're not as rewarding hitting these big lines, even though they're really difficult, some of them, as other tracks are. Like, you can throw a quad down here because this triple is so tiny. But these big lines feel more awkward than they do on other tracks. These lines just, for instance, right here. So you got this double, and then you can triple this, which would be a bigger line, but it's just not rewarding because you have this awkward single, and I just don't believe that that's actually faster. Now, this one here, you can quad. Oh, we kind of got it, actually. Cool. You can quad that, and that feels pretty good. Now, I do believe you can actually, I suppose you'd call it a quad. You can quad to the backside of this dragon's back here. I've never actually done it, but somebody was saying that in the comments. That just doesn't feel as rewarding because it might be a little faster, and it might be slower. I really don't know. I don't know if it's faster or if it's slower, but it just doesn't feel that good. That rhythm section to me is kind of wonky. I just don't enjoy it. So it comes down to mostly because of track layout. I don't love the track layout here. And that's going to be, I mean, that's basically the same reasons I'm going to have for my other 3, or my other 2 least favorite tracks. So, yep, San Diego comes in at number 3. And so I guess it's time to move on to our number 2 track. Alright, so the second track on this list is Detroit. Now, the reasons for this are a little bit different than they were for San Diego because I actually don't mind the layout for Detroit. I think it's kind of cool, and it can be kind of fun. Like, this triple section is actually pretty fun to go through. And then jumping over the track here is kind of cool. Like, I don't mind the layout so much, except for the very back. The very back, well, even the very back of the layout isn't that bad. It's just I struggle with it, and that's the main reason I don't like the track, is because of how hard I struggle here. Now, this little triple, it's kind of annoys me because you can make it a quad, but the quad's kind of hard to get, but the triple's so easy to get, and it just throws you off. And then here, I never have a good rhythm through this section, and then, you know, I'll downshift here thinking it'll be better, and then mess up this, and then you want to triple here and then double into the corner, and it just doesn't work. I'm always messing it up. I mean, I have gotten a couple clean laps, but for the most part, it's a struggle bus ride here. Like, it's bad. I'm just awful here. And I'm not ragging on the track so much. I mean, yeah, it's on my top 3 least favorite tracks, but it's not because of the track. It's because I can't personally get around the track very good. Like, here I think you could probably quad this section, Maybe, I don't know. I've never done it. The triple is really easy, even though we didn't get it. But mainly the design that I don't like is the back half of the track. This first half really isn't that bad. I don't mind it. Maybe let's see if we can get the quad here. Yeah, so there's the quad. And then maybe you could jump to that last table. I don't really know. I don't think we've done a big lines video here. I mean, I avoid the track obviously because I just don't like it. And then this rhythm section, I really don't know what to do. I don't like having a single, so I'll double into the corner. Triple. Triple double. I mean, that's like the best that I can get around it. That was a rare, decent run through that section. So Detroit comes in at number 2 on this list, mainly because I just suck here. And the track that's going to take the top spot on this least favorite supercross tracks in MX versus ATV All Out is Oakland. I think some people actually might be surprised because I think a lot of people enjoy this track. I don't. It's so easy to over jump everything on this track, and I'll show you the reason I really dislike this track. It's one specific reason, like even here. So we're going to go for the big line. Oh, now we still over jump. It's so easy to over jump that, and I can't quite get the last one. And again, I'm not a great player, so for people that would say that, well, right here, I want to say this first. So this triple, you have to jump it perfect. So we under jumped it. Now we're done in the whoops. You over jump it, you're done in the whoops. It's so easy to over jump that triple. And I know there might be people saying, well, I like it because I have throttle control. You have to think about it. But that's not why I like MX versus ATV games. I mean, we have a lot of other games out there that are like that. I like just being able to send it. Just send it and have a good flow, and yeah, it's pretty easy, but I think that's fun sometimes. There's so many other options out there if you want to challenge yourself more. So when I look at MX versus ATV specifically, I don't really like that. Plus, I don't like having to slow down for things. If I want to challenge, I'd much rather have to be able to rail a corner and get a full preload to get through a section, which would still take skill, than to just slow down. I don't think slowing down, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you should have to slow down that much for these triples. I mean, I'd rather have take all this stuff out, these 3 rollers, and bring the triple back. So you have to come out of the corner and then just extend the whoop section. That's what I would have done. Make that triple harder to get coming out of the corner, and then just extend the whoop section. And here, I don't really know. Maybe, I mean, this triple's really tiny too. Take out this and just make it a triple into the corner and extend that other triple. Or make that triple a little, space it a little bit differently to where you get a quad. That's just me personally. And I'm not a track designer or a game developer or anything, so I don't know what's great. This is just my opinion and things that I would see differently. Because if I want something to be difficult, I want it to be to where I have to really hit the corner and get a good preload to get over it. You know what I mean? That's how I think sections on the track should be difficult, instead of having to slow down for everything. I mean, we'll see what happens, because I don't know if I've ever actually done it, but maybe we could just throw the thing into the whoop section. Oh, we actually kind of got a decent run through it. I mean, when it works, it works. It works really well, but most of the time it don't work. I mean, let's see. We're not even gonna... Yeah, that's not gonna work. So you basically just have to hit it just right, and that's a lot of throttle control in the game, which is cool. I'm always for throttle control, but not at certain parts, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So specifically that section back there is why I really don't like Oakland. Now I think Oakland... See, I let off too much again on this little triple, and you could try and quad it, but I don't know if it's faster. It just doesn't feel faster, and you want to find the fast lines in the game, right? I mean, that's the point. And so I don't think that's necessarily faster because of how long you're in the air. But one thing I think it does well, actually, is the scaling. I think the scaling's still a little off, but it feels like it's more narrow than most of these supercross tracks. So one thing that I kind of like about it is the scaling, but I don't like how you're having to slow down and just not able to hit a lot of these sections because of how much you have to slow down, instead of trying to speed up out of the corner to maintain momentum and hit the corner as hard as you can, which makes sense to me. You're slowing down for a lot of this stuff. Like here, I mean, to get this triple is insanely easy. And then I guess you would, what would that be? I mean, that'd be a triple, maybe a quad or a 5. I don't really know. and then back into this section. So let me know. I'm curious in the comments what yours are, what your top 3 least favorite tracks are. Is Oakland one of them, or is Oakland one of your favorite ones? And if it happens to be one of your favorite ones, please enlighten me. Let me know what you like about it. And maybe you like it for the reasons I don't, which is cool. That's definitely cool. It's to each their own, I guess is what you would say. But me personally, that's why I don't like it, and that's kind of how I would change it if I was able to do it, even though I'm not a superior custom track designer or developer or whatever. So Oakland comes in at number 1 on our top 3 least favorite tracks. Okay, so we're jumping over into our top 3 favorite tracks, and we're going to start this off with number 3, and this is Atlanta, which is a sick track. Now, one reason I really like this track is because it's basically, I mean, I think there's a few things that aren't exactly perfect. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's a couple things in one of those rhythm sections that weren't identical, but it's basically a remake of Capital City from Untamed, which was an awesome track, and people pointed that stuff out right away, that this track was from that, and maybe that's part of the reason why I like it. This triple's kind of annoying because it's really small, but you can take that very inside and it's not so bad, and there's some really big lines here that you can hit that feel really good, and I think might actually be a little bit faster, and when you're flowing, it's an amazing track. When you're not, it's a struggle bus. It's just a huge struggle bus when you're not hitting the lines right. It's awful. It's so hard to fix yourself, but as long as you kind of have the track down, it's fun. Like, there's a huge quad here. I'm not going to get it because it's really difficult, but this is how I normally would go through it. We overjumped. And then triple. It's kind of hard. It's a little difficult, and it kind of has a little bit of that having to slow down, which kind of annoys me, and because that's not what I like when I play MX versus ATV games. I like to just be able to send it, and people might be it's too easy that way, but it's fun. I think it's fun. Even if it's easier, it's still fun to do that. I just don't like having to slow down for things, but for the most part, you don't have to. This triple a little bit if you take the inside, or the outside, I guess I should say, and then this, I didn't mean to overjump it. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you can see how bad we're doing when we're not getting hitting lines right, but it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good track, and I think they did a really good job of bringing Capital City to life in this, if that's what they were going for. I mean, they had to have been going for that with this specific track, and they did a heck of a job, and it flows really well, and hopefully we can get this. Oh, stretch it. Yeah, there we go. I mean, that's what I would consider the consistent line. So Atlanta comes in at number 3 on my top 3 favorite tracks in MX versus ATV All Out. Okay, so number 1 and number 2 could basically be interchanged. I mean, really, there's really no reason why this one's number 2 instead of number 1. It was that close. They were both really good, and I enjoy both of them about equal. But this is Arlington. It drew the short end of the stick and got second place, even though it clearly could be in, whoops, let off a little too much. There's another one of those triples with the small triple syndrome, but it's so good. The layout, awesome. The big lines here are like I feel like they actually matter. I feel like hitting the bigger lines here makes a difference. It actually does make you faster, I think, if you're hitting them right. I mean, like right here, we didn't hit this correctly. Well, we kind of messed it up, but there's so many different ways through that section. There's so many different ways to go about it, and all of them feel good. Even though some of them are faster than others, they all feel really good. This section, I mean, that's a pretty standard way through it. I'm sure there's probably other ways, but that's typically how I would go through it. And then that's a lap. The design here is phenomenal. It flows so good, and to me, flow is like one of the most important things in these MX versus ATV games. Oh man, I was gonna go for the quad here, but hitting this quad, that's what I was talking about with why I don't like Oakland, because hitting this big line, this big quad, definitely is faster, and it's difficult. You really gotta rail that outside to hit that line instead of slowing down. And you can jump all the way over this, I'm just not. But most of this stuff, like if you wanna hit this fiver here, you gotta rail this corner without throwing a preload, and then boom, you just hit it really easy. So you have to speed up instead of slow down, and that's what I like seeing. We get this? Yeah, we got the good lines. The good lines, man. It just feels so good. I love it. I just love coming to Arlington and running free ride, or time attack, I guess I should say, time attack laps, because it's so fun. And big thanks to Matt, Cubs fan forever, 1908, right? 1908? He showed me a lot of these lines, and that made this track one of my favorites. But before we end it, we're gonna try and see if we can get this quad. If we can't, we can't. You've already seen it with the bigger lines, but let's try. Oh, we got it. That's what I'm talking about. For the double into the corner. So Arlington could easily be number 1, but we're going to put it at number 2 on my top 3 favorite tracks, supercross tracks in MX versus ATV All Out. Okay, so number 1 on this list could easily have been number 2 because Arlington and this track are practically the same to me. I love them both equally, but this is Los Angeles, and get ready for the repetitiveness because the same reasons I like Arlington are the same reasons I like Los Angeles. There's some line choice. I mean, we got the triple with the small triple syndrome going on there, but for the most part, oh, we messed this up now. Whoa! Now we're not gonna hit it. See, this is a little tricky sometimes because you want to land this perfect so you can actually triple quad, I guess, quad to this middle table. So that's the line we were going for, but we didn't hit it. We're gonna ride out the most insane stoppie. Wow, look at that reset way back here. And then this triple kind of has the small triple syndrome too, but you can actually throw a nasty quad down here, so it doesn't really bother me as much, and it does affect the rhythm through this section, so I'm okay with it. And then I think this is a 5 coming up. No, 4, just 4. 4 double, triple. Okay, so there's multiple ways through that rhythm section too, and the line choice is good, and the big lines feel like they actually serve a purpose. Like you're not hanging in the air forever, and you can turn faster lap times. You know, some of those lines where you're quadding off of the supercross triples don't really feel like that's the fastest way through it. You know what I mean? I don't always agree that would be the faster way. But here, I think all the bigger lines, basically, I mean, here if you double, well, we'll do it here. I've been behind a guy that tripled this, and I doubled it, and I didn't lose any time to him. Or I mean, if it was like a 1/10 of a second. It was very, very little. And the triple's easy, but wow, we're not going to get this line. Unbelievable. That's a really easy line to get. I'm so bugged by it. We're going to go back and do that again. So bugged by that. It's not a hard line to get, but it shows that trying to get off that dragon's back can mess you up, and then it's a little bit harder to get that quad up onto that middle table. So hopefully we can get it this time. This is pretty easy to get without a preload. You can overjump a little bit, and then we still overjump that triple. Small triple syndrome. Oh, we still can get it. So, I mean, it's not impossible to get without a bad run, but it's just weird. So we'll quad, triple, double, triple. So that's an option too. And then here when I first got the game, I was just doing this. I was just triple, double, and then we're not gonna get it. And then triple single. That's what I was doing. I mean, there is line choice. And then the better you get at the game, you find these other lines and everything gets better and faster, and you're turning down hot lap heaters in no time. But yeah, Los Angeles, same reasons I liked Arlington, is because it's designed really well for the way the game plays, with some line choice that is competitive. Again, coming back to this section right here, the triple isn't necessarily always the best way, especially if you're doing like a bigger, longer race. If those lines get chopped out too much, you might have to settle for the triple or the double. Maybe. Can we get this? Oh yeah, we can. So it all depends on how long you're running. I mean, typically in multiplayer you're running like 4 laps, 3 to 5 laps, I'd say. So it probably never gets chopped out enough to where you can't hit these lines, but you really want to have that other line, that reserve line, your secondary line in your pocket for if you're doing like a really long race where the ruts are going to get nasty. So, I mean, having this, even though it feels so much slower now, having this section really might not be that bad after 20, 30 laps or however long it is. So, yes, I love Los Angeles. Favorite track in the game as of right now until possible DLC or possible custom tracks come. We don't know what the future holds. But for right now, as a stock game, Los Angeles comes in at number 1 on my top 3 favorite supercross tracks in MX versus ATV All Out. Okay, so here is some UTV gameplay. Now, I'm really hoping that the video wasn't too long and that we can actually, like, make this happen. Oh, yeah, we're still in the manual transmission. I don't really use the UTV. I think it's kind of fun. I think if you have some buddies and going into multiplayer, it's just, like, chaos. Well, I mean, multiplayer can be chaos anyways, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get last place, but that's okay. It's kind of fun to mess around with. I think it's cool that they added it, and I'd like to see more. I think people are like, they want the monster trucks. They want the monster trucks and the planes back. But hey, the UTV is a start. Plus, I believe this is a 100% stock UTV, so we're probably going to be sitting outside of a podium the entire time, unless Eric here wants to go for the takeout move. Puts us in 4th. You know, it feels like I'm not running the manual. It feels like it's the automatic because it keeps like shifting for itself. We're just going to try and leave this in 3rd. Is it just like the bike, or... Didn't get the preload. We're in 4th, though, man. If any mistake comes out of those guys... Ooh, he's gaining on us, though. He's making gains. Oh, mistakes. Jeremy making mistakes. Put this baby in 4th. Downshift. Come on. I want a podium. Get out of here. Get out of here, Jeremy. What do we got? 1 lap. Oh, look at that pass. Oh my gosh, nobody's making this. Well, he did. Oh, but that guy made a mistake too. Oh, we might get 2nd. Oh my gosh. 1st is kind of, he's carrying tough blocks all over the track. How close? Oh, they're really close. Not getting the preload here. Yeah, I'm like totally missing the preload. Why can I not preload? He's gonna cut across, cut the track. No? Oh yeah, it looks like we could get 2nd. Oh my gosh, is that 1st? Tell me that's 1st place. No, it wasn't. He was totally out of control and off the track. He can't control his UTV. Oh, we're gonna take 2nd. Okay, I know it was really short, but there you go, man. That's for any of you hardcore UTV guys. Don't say I never played with UTV. There you go. 2nd place, we needed some of those precious credits anyways, but thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. Let me know in the comments if there's something specific you would like to see. Otherwise, I'm probably just gonna, I think we have one more big lines video we can do, and then I'd kind of like to go to the ranch and hit some really, really big lines. There's some huge lines we can try and hit there, so maybe that'll be the next video, but let me know what you would like to see. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you again for all the support on the channel and this series in particular. And until the next video, take it easy.